Ladies and gentlemen, gather round for the original family soap opera. Move over Kardashians. The sons of Jacob were doing dysfunctional family drama millennia before reality TV. Let's meet these biblical bros who somehow became the founding fathers of Israel despite having enough baggage to sink the ark. Reuben, there could have been king, firstborn son with firstborn privileges, making literally the worst career move in patriarchal history. Had the birthright, the blessing, the whole inheritance package wrapped up with a bow until he decided, you know what would be a great idea? Sleeping with my father's concubine Bilhah. Genesis 35:22. Though he once tried to save Joseph, his instability and sin cost him the leadership of Israel's tribes.
Simeon, the sword-bearer of wrath. He had anger management issues of biblical proportions. Co-founder of the Disproportionate Revenge Club. When his sister Dinah was defiled, most brothers might demand justice. Simeon thought, let's trick an entire city into getting circumcised and then murder them all while they're recovering. Genesis 34:25-31. Talk about taking protective brother to psychopathic levels. Well, he later won an all-expenses-paid vacation as Joseph's hostage in Egypt. Levi, from massacre to ministry. Third son, anger management dropout, Simeon's partner in the Great Shechem Massacre. Somehow his descendants went from, let's kill everyone, to, let's burn incense and pray for everyone. Talk about the ultimate career pivot. Jacob basically said, I'm going to scatter you guys throughout Israel so you can't team up and kill more people. Genesis 49:7. Plot twist. This punishment turned into the prestigious priestly role. His tribe became scattered due to his violent legacy, eventually absorbed into Judah. His tribe didn't inherit any lands, but were guardians of the temple, devoted to worship. Judah, the Lion King with questionable morals, had the audacity to suggest, hey guys, instead of murdering our brother, let's sell him to slave traders. We can even make a profit. Genesis 37:26 and 27. What a humanitarian! Somehow still became the royal line that would produce King David and eventually Jesus. Though flawed, Judah matured into a bold leader and became the royal lineage. Dan, the serpentine judge. Fifth son, firstborn of Bilhah, Rachel's maid. His name means judge. His tribe would later fall into idolatry. Name meaning judge, because Rachel felt God had judged in her favor. Nothing like naming your kid after winning an argument with your sister wife. Dad's prophecy. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, a viper by the path. Genesis 49:16. Great, Dad. Thanks for the snake comparison. Most kids get compared to lions or eagles. Dan gets reptile status. What it meant, his tribe would excel in guerrilla warfare and sneaky tactics basically, the biblical Navy SEALs. Fun fact, his tribe was the first to introduce idol worship in Israel. Way to go, Dan. Judges 18:30. Naphtali, the swift and free. Sixth son, second Bilhah production. Described as a deer let loose, symbolizing agility and freedom. The ancient equivalent of that guy who runs marathons while writing poetry about the experience. His brothers called him Prancy McWordsmith. Fun fact, his name comes from Rachel exclaiming, "With great wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister," Genesis 30-8. Nothing like naming your kid after your ongoing sibling rivalry. Gad, the eternal underdog. Seventh son, firstborn of Zilpah, Leah's maid, a fierce fighter who dwelled in borderlands east of the Jordan. His name means good fortune. Fun fact, his tribe chose land east of the Jordan, which was prime real estate until every invading army in history decided to use it as their entry point into Israel. Asher, the biblical foodie. Eighth son, second Zilpah production. His name means happy. His land was fertile and prosperous. Modern-day equivalent would definitely have a food blog, Instagram, worthy charcuterie boards, and his own line of olive oil. His tribe got the Mediterranean coastal region with perfect conditions for growing olives, grains, and grapes. Basically, the biblical Napa Valley. Issachar, the strong scholar. Compared to a strong donkey, hard-working, thoughtful, wise. His tribe supported learning and agriculture. His descendants became known for understanding the times, 1 Chronicles 12:32. So they went from cosmic donkeys to ancient think tank. Glow up! Zebulun, the maritime mogul. 10th son, shipping and receiving specialist. Dad's prophecy. You shall dwell by the haven of the sea, and shall be a haven for ships. Genesis 49-13. Basically got the ancient equivalent of, you'll work at the docks, son. His inheritance lay by the sea. His tribe prospered through trade. Joseph, the dreamer ruler. 11th son, Daddy's favorite future Egyptian prime minister. Famous for getting a designer coat, Genesis 37-3, then telling his brothers, "Hey guys, I had this crazy dream where you all bowed down to me. Isn't that hilarious? Oh, and Dad loves me more than all of you." Social skills rating, -3 out of 10. When his brothers who sold him into slavery had to bow before him begging for food, the "I told you so" energy must have been incredible, yet he forgave them. Eventually, after some elaborate psychological torture involving a silver cup, single-handedly created the concept of the 7-year emergency fund and government grain reserves. Benjamin, the fierce little brother, last son, born in sorrow, described as a ravenous wolf. His birth literally killed his mother, Genesis 35-16 and 18, which is a tough way to enter the world. His name initially Ben-Oni means, son of my sorrow. Rachel's dying words were basically, this baby has ruined me, call him sorrow. His dad said, nah, too depressing. Let's go with Benjamin, son of my right hand. Famous for being the unwitting pawn in Joseph's elaborate revenge scheme, getting framed for silver cup theft and almost giving his father a second heart attack. His tribe later produced Israel's first king, Saul, who had a talent for throwing spears at his future replacement. So there you have it, 12 brothers who collectively committed attempted murder, most of them, accomplished actual mass murder, Simeon and Levi, sold a brother into slavery, led by Judah, slept with their father's concubine, looking at you, Reuben, lied to their father for decades, and somehow became the patriarchs of God's chosen people. If there's one thing the Bible teaches us, it's that God can work with seriously flawed family trees. And if the sons of Jacob could become the founding fathers of Israel, there's hope for all of us mere mortals and our family holiday dinner drama. Remember, kids, just because your brother throws you in a pit and sells you to slave traders doesn't mean you can't invite him over for dinner 20 years later when he's starving during a famine. That's the biblical definition of forgiveness, with a side of, "I told you you'd bow down to me." These weren't just men, they were foundations, tribes, stories of failure, redemption, and destiny. And they show us that God can use anyone, broken, bold, or blessed, for His greater purpose. If this video opened your eyes to the roots of Israel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful biblical storytelling.